is solely the opinion of Mr. Santilli. Also be advised that the following commentary may have adult content, so parental discretion is strongly advised. So go grab your chips and your Diet Coke and get ready for Pete Santilli. Pete Santilli telling you the truth, whether you like it or not.
But we're never gonna survive unless we are a little. But we're never gonna survive unless we get a little crazy. But we're never gonna survive unless.
What is our common bond truly? Freedom. Freedom. Without freedom, you can't be a Christian no matter what denomination you belong to. You can't be a Buddhist. You can't own a donut shop. You can't drive from here to Oregon. You can't be an American because that's what it's all about, and it's the only thing that it's all about, nothing else. Nothing else. It's about freedom.
Seriously, I need
Hello.
cleanup crew on Aisle Pete. I'm exploding with enthusiasm.
You are.
Here on the Pete Santilli Show, Counter Coup.
Good evening,
We're
everyone.
going to counter this coup, ladies and gentlemen.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. And I'm going to start calling her Coup-Be-Doo.
Scooby-Doo.
Coup-Be-Doo. My lovely co-host.
The things you come up with.
I'm Deb, and she's Pete.
That's okay. It looks good.
Welcome, everybody. And,
Yeah.
I remember, by the way, for those of you that are just tuning in for the first time, make sure you subscribe. Absolutely make sure you subscribe. The reason why we're in this part of the news cycle is because Jimmy Dore is probably talking about police over there. Right? You go over there, get your Jimmy Dore police news and authoritarianism. I don't know what he's saying, but anyways, you want to tune in here because people are going to want to make sense of the world that we're about to start living in.
Socialists are very popular with conservatives right now. It's interesting.
I'm gonna call it a perpocracy.
They call themselves former Democrats.
No. Oh, you're talking about them. I'm talking about us. We're about to launch our perpocracy.
We are?
Yeah.
And in what way?
Perpetratorocracy.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, perpocracy. That's where we do perp walks.
Yeah.
It's going to be coming. And by the way, there's something going on.
There's somebody named Perp Walks in the...
Perp walks, baby. That's right. There's something going on with Rumble. I've been watching it for 2 days straight. Okay, we get on the front feature.
Yeah.
Right, and then you get listen to Greg's harmonics. Huh? Craig, sorry, not Greg. Greg's super harmonics. What?
Nothing.
And we got right, and Rumble's got this thing where there's like 8,000 bazillion viewers over there on the front page. Right? Mm-hmm. And then if we catch it on the feature, then all of a sudden they gotta back that out. And it goes like 5, 10, 20, and it just incrementally. By the time we get to our part of the show, I mean, we're down to, 9 hours. But you just watch it go down. I've been in this business since 2011, okay? And there's only one other entity that fakes numbers like that, and that is the radio business. They're like, oh, we have 18 bazillion people tuned in. And I mean, I hate to pick on it, but I just watched it 2 days in a row where it's like incrementally, it looks like it's just ticking away like 10 at a time, 20, 30. Every single show goes backwards. Every show. That's physically impossible.
Oh, you know what?
What?
There's somebody named Aqua Velva, 22 in our chat room.
Yeah.
My dad wore Aqua Velva, and my Uncle Bud.
Did. I used to wear Brute when I was really young.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was very, very self-conscious about, I just wanted to make sure I
Smelled good.
smelled like a man.
Yeah.
And I used to do this thing, and I put my Brute.
What's that other one
right
that
there.
guys used to wear?
Hmm?
What's the other one guys
Old
used to wear?
Spice.
Yeah, Old Spice.
Old Spice, Aqua Velvet, and Brute.
My
Right.
dad didn't wear very much. My brothers, who were considerably older than me, they wore. I mean, there was always like Aqua Velva, Spice, or something like that. Just brought back that memory. Thank you, Aqua Velva.
There you go. So anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I need your help. I need you to click that thumbs up button. Okay? We have to do that. If we have 1,000 people, you click the thumbs up button. We go on the front page of Rumble. Okay? Because I'm not Jimmy Dore.
I know, it's
Bunch
sad.
of... Huh?
It's sad.
If we're going to have to coexist with them, I need to be able to pick on them. Can't say, well, he's on Rumble, so I can't say anything about him.
I mean,
Jimmy Dore?
You'd think with him being a socialist and everything that
Seriously,
he'd want to
Rumble,
share in the wealth.
Rumble, your central headquarters for socialism at Jimmy Dore during prime time.
There's
Everybody,
a lot of socialists that
let's
have
kick
shows on here now.
that freaking socialist butt, okay?
Yeah.
Let's go, okay? We're going to bring you the news. I bet you Jimmy Dore's not talking about this, ladies and gentlemen. A bombshell new study from Yale Medical School. You don't have this. Don't worry about it. It's bombshell.
That's
No,
hilarious.
listen to me. He's not talking about this.
Okay,
A bombshell
buddy.
new study from Yale Medical School
Yeah.
finds that people that are suffering from long COVID, his entire audience is quadruple boosted. Okay,
No, not his audience would be.
his audience is quadruple boosted.
No.
Oh yeah, they are.
Jimmy Dore.
They don't say anything.
He was so anti-vaccine.
I know, but
That's
all
how
of
they
his
got. That's how they got all the.
all of his listeners were force vaccinated. Trust me.
But that's how those socialists got all the conservatives to jump on the socialist train.
I'm picking on Jimmy Dore. Is he up on the front page of the Rumble?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
Got
just
to be
kind
part
of
of
funny.
the in
I'm
crowd.
telling the truth, though. I'm not picking. I'm telling
Listen.
the truth. It's
And by the
how
way,
it
this
is.
isn't. I don't talk about this because it bothers me. I talk about this because I will kick the crap out of all of these wannabe Klingons. Okay, that all of a sudden they start, saying something about anti-vax, and somebody wants to take them full-blown MAGA. You know. Oh my God! That's how the libertarians came in and infected everybody with the political equivalent of venereal disease. What? Listen, listen, they're suffering. Here's the deal: people suffering from long COVID are actually suffering from, guess what?
What?
mRNA vaccine injury.
Ooh, yep.
As if that's bad enough, right? It's actually worse than that, ladies and gentlemen. It's called VAIDS.
Vates.
Yes, VAIDS. This came off of Slay News, okay? Slay News published this report. Immune markers, here's the report right there.
Thanks.
Leading scientists from the world-renowned Yale University have confirmed that COVID mRNA vaccines caused vaccine-acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. VAIDS, a bombshell study conducted by research at Yale University School of Medicine, found that mRNA injections alter human biology to create long-term spike protein production that increases over time. The scientists warn that COVID mRNA vaccines alter T-cell immunophenotypes.
What the hell is that?
I don't know. Can I touch your?
I mean,
Can I touch your phenotype?
Not anymore.
Yeah. Scientists warns that COVID mRNA,
man,
right?
what the
mRNA
heck?
vaccines alter T-cell immunophenotypes,
Okay.
which triggers what? VAIDS. Study led by Bornali Bhattacharya. I need a chicken dance here. Huh? Do I have any music?
You need backup music to read this? Huh. It's quiet
It is quiet.
because he's trying.
So
to
not
find
only
music.
are we collectively forced to take an experimental vaccine, of course, right? Or risk losing our jobs there, so we can't go watch the Jimmy Dore show, right after work.
Right.
We're lied to about it. Didn't stop you from contracting or transmitting the virus. It wasn't safe. It caused heart issues, blood clots, autoimmune disorders, right? And of course, we get censored when we ask questions about it. So basically a modified form of AIDS
Yeah.
by getting the vaccine. It's now called VAIDS.
Vades.
VAIDS.
I thought you said Vates.
VAIDS.
Vades. So it's
Yeah.
VAID.
So that doesn't have to do, well, coup, counter coup, right? Coup, counter coup. How do we counter the coup? I hope that the FBI arrests people for injecting human beings with VAIDS. That's disgusting.
Yeah.
Okay. Today I went to the produce section and, right, because, by the way, got a special announcement. I'm breaking my fast live here on the Pete Santilli Show, Counter Coup, here
But
on LFA
Are you going
TV.
to tell people how
Hold on a
how
second.
It went?
I'm going to break my fast.
Yeah.
And if you don't know what my fast is, I'm now on finishing day 10.
Yep.
10 days of fasting, and I lost, I'm probably at 22 pounds right now. 22 pounds.
This morning when you stepped on the scale,
You can't see it because it's in my shorts. What? 22 pounds on the Erie Canal. Look
So
at
you were at
this shirt's freaking loose too.
Yeah, you were at 21 this morning. So
22 pounds.
I
And
would
Deb
say
keeps
that-
running around the house shouting, water weight, water weight.
Oh my goodness,
It's all water weight.
I did not say.
I
that.
lost 22 pounds on this special concoction.
The things he says that I say.
I'm going to finish this off. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I have an exceptional amount of energy, not because of me being on the fast, but because I'm getting off of it. Right? So anyways, I went to the produce section, and guess what I was thinking?
What?
They put special things like no pesticides.
Yep.
I want them to put a sticker on everything that says no Bill Gates sneaky vaccine
Yeah,
spray.
right. Oh my God, are we going to get a warning on that? I mean,
Oh my
will
God!
there be
no.
an mRNA warning on the
We
food we're
won't
eating?
we won't even figure it out until I got a foot grown out of the side of my
see,
head.
here's what I want to know.
We got green beans and
We've got-
potatoes, and I was worried about whether or not I was going to be injecting mRNA
Okay,
or
but listen,
eating mRNA.
everybody was like praising RFK Jr.
Everyone relax, just sit back.
Everyone was praising RFK Jr., correct? How did this happen on his watch is what I want to know. We get rid of dyes, we get an mRNA sprayed on our food. What the
can I
heck
tell
is
you
going
something?
on?
By the way, I just cited. Did you hit YouTube? You did? We're streaming on YouTube.
We won't
Guess
be
what?
after this.
I went 2 consecutive shows.
Yeah,
One show was blocked partially internationally
yeah.
because the royalty-free music I was playing was not allowed in certain countries, like the really intense one opening the show,
Really? Why?
because it's too violent.
Really?
Yeah. That thing is just almost non-functioning. I'm complaining about all these platforms.
Okay.
Pete, your hat size went down 2 sizes. That's not. Pete should go get a bag of sliders.
Yeah.
No. That's what got me here. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what got me here. You know what? This is on a very serious note. So I'm at the produce section today because tonight I break my fast. I do orange juice. Right. I haven't had anything but for 10 days. Okay.
And he is a grump. Okay.
For 10
More
days.
than usual. More so
Drinking
than
my
usual.
stupid, soupy, whatever it is. It's good. But after 10 days, I mean, I want something different, like potato chips. I need a bag of potato chips.
I'm so proud of you because you could so easily go the Ozempic route and you didn't do it. And,
You guys, I got to tell this story. I'm sorry. For those people out there saying, get to the news. Uh-oh. Look, we just lost like 1,000 people. Right?
Yeah.
Because they all went over to Jimmy Dore.
It was all like this when we came on.
It's like this all day long in 20 people increments. It just ticks away. Tick, 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 tick. All day. I've been watching it all day.
People said they had they had a hard time getting on LFA today.
They did?
Yeah, that's what I understood.
Yeah, but,
that it's really acting
Rumble
up.
is our platform. I have a love-hate relationship with it. Okay?
Yep.
Just accept it. So this situation where I go to the produce section, I'm legitimately, because of what I know, I've done a lot of studies, but I can't talk about it because we're on YouTube. Right?
Yeah.
Can I say the V word? Oh, they're going to nail me for that?
Yeah,
you can't say the V word.
No.
Did I say the V word?
You can't criticize
I
it
swear if on the 3rd episode I get canned, that's it.
It'll be
I'm
funny.
done. Huh?
It will be funny.
Rumble's been insane today, says D-Biggs. Ozempic is great for causing internal bleeding. Yeah, and guess what? And you could snort your snake venom, too. Oh, that should shut me down.
Oh, man, you're really going to get in trouble now.
Okay, well, let's get off this topic. Sorry, I'm reading a Yale University study that says that the mRNA vaccine is an injection of VAIDS. Okay? Sorry, YouTube. You can go take all of your quadruple boosted people and shove them up your... Right?
Okay. Oh, self-censoring, are we?
Yeah, it can't be violent. Okay.
That would be very violent.
Here, take this thing. Let me see it. Let me see the article. Here it is. I'm citing, you know what? This is not consistent with the WHO. Right? Immune markers for post-vaccination syndrome indicate future research directions. Oh, yeah. Pregnant women getting injected with VAIDS. I'm not allowed to talk like this. That's it.
So what does VAIDS stand for? Vaccine?
It's basically...
vaccine AIDS?
We're not allowed to say vaccine either. Vaccine.
AIDS caused by vaccines? Is that what that means?
Oh, my God. What? Let's get off the topic, please.
Crazy.
We already got shut down. I said, this is not consistent with Anthony Fauci. Right? Okay.
I knew it wasn't going to last long. It's lasted longer
All
than
right,
I
listen.
thought.
Here's our top news headlines. You're going to get them each and every day. Our top news headlines from the past 12 hours. National Guard gathering in U.S. Capitol.
Yeah.
The Democrats are so ridiculous. They're so ridiculous because
we have some videos.
We do.
We have videos showing a few people getting arrested.
The coup, okay, is further extended. We're going to call it out for what it is. The Cloward Piven strategy. Every single topic that we talk about, they go from one to the next to the next. And today's top news headline is very appropriate, and we have proof that all of these coup plotters have been behind the whole Zelensky thing to sabotage Trump and Putin.
I have no doubt.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about that. But our top news headlines: National Guard gathering in the U.S. Capitol as Democrats fret over potential expansion to other cities. Oh, you know what they've been saying lately? After they got done saying, let's defund the police, right? Then Muriel Bowser said, well, there's a lot of crime, but we need more police. And President Trump says, I'll give you more police and then some. And they said, you're a dictator.
Yeah, right.
Do they actually listen to what they say?
It's insane.
Can I say this again? Can I say it again? Defund the police, right? Muriel Bowser comes to the podium and says, yes, Jewish people got shot, but don't worry about them. Other people got shot too. We need more police. President Trump says, okay, here's more police plus National Guard to back them up. They said, you're a dictator.
Well, he gave them, they were short 800 police officers, they felt, to be able to do the job.
He stepped up.
So he gave them 800 National Guard.
Oh.
And, now they're calling him a dictator. And the black communities, no doubt, with the behest by the behest of Al Sharpton, all of these guys are now saying Trump is going to cause a revolution in this country. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, because all of
a revolution. Why?
Here's what's trending.
A Marxist revolution.
We're already in the middle of a Marxist
gradually,
revolution.
as the show goes, just 10 at a time, ticking off. There's nobody leaving. What that tells, since there's nobody leaving, seriously, this is ridiculous right now, okay? No one is leaving. The numbers are going down, all right?
Yeah.
Why? Why is that?
I don't know.
I've been doing this since 2011, okay? I could literally scream out the back door right now and increase our numbers, right? This is so crazy. That's okay.
Okay. So,
okay, hold on. No, not so. Let me finish.
I was just going to tell you what's happening here. I started to because you asked me to.
I'm very, very intense today.
So what's happening, there is a trend starting on social media. Everybody needs to get ready for this. And everybody needs to plan accordingly, because all of the videos of these police officers arresting people in D.C. are them arresting people of color.
Oh, my God. They're going to make it a race thing.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Listen.
Get ready.
Amid ongoing concerns about federal overreach, Democrats express worry about which city might be next. How about the highest crime ones? Yeah. You guys want us to help you do some math, okay? We're probably going to take the murder statistics, okay? They have distributed MS-13 gang members strategically. Coming over the border, just put them on a bus. They send them to, they're worried about gerrymandering, okay? These guys were strategically placing Democrat voters in red districts. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So White House is now lowering expectations for a Trump-Putin summit, right?
Yeah.
Why? Because the Coup-Plotters are sabotaging the efforts by coaching Zelensky. There's so much money in it. I have an exact, detailed account in a fat 3-ring binder of how many companies stand to earn tens of billions of dollars. Tens of billions in profits from rebuilding Ukraine.
Oh, gosh.
They could pay Zelensky off. All they need to do is say,
including the Clinton
dude,
Foundation.
we will literally wire you $5 million if you go to the microphone and say something stupid.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Like, no matter what President Trump and Putin do, say no to it. Just do that. Here's $5 million. Boom.
Boom.
Federal judge questions the legality of Trump's National Guard deployment of Los Angeles, of course. Judge probed whether the deployment, judge probed more than that. That's why they got him on the payroll. Judge probed whether the deployment violates laws amid debates over a constitutional exception and classes with New York governor. We're going to check the Constitution. It goes up to the Supreme Court, and they say he controls 10 square miles of D.C. Shut your cake hole, right? Trump to announce and host Kennedy Center honorees, and he did today.
He did that today.
U.S. approves AI chip sales to China by NVIDIA and AMD with revenue cut. And I'm going to say, absolutely do that. And you know what I want to have happen? If China buys those NVIDIA chips, we have the back door to all their AI technology.
Sure.
And all we need to do is pour some molasses on their chips before they go out the back door.
You'd like to have molasses on chips right now.
Molasses on chips.
That was mean.
That was
mean.
Internationally, preparations intensify for the Trump-Putin summit. With calls for Ukraine ceasefire, right? Of course, got to have that. President Trump is dictator. Dictator and dictator are going to get together. Deadly wildfires ravaging Europe. 5 Al Jazeera journalists killed in an Israeli airstrike in Gaza. And you didn't see me cry about that, did you? Journalists and State Department officials are...
Listen, Pete and I have been on the ground with Al Jazeera. They were at Bundy Ranch. They were at
They're pretty good,
the
actually.
Malheur National Wildlife Refuge, all of these places. And we also had a little tiff with them on January the 6th out back.
We did.
But I can tell you that, from what I'm understanding, the 5 that were killed were Hamas. They supported Hamas.
Mm-hmm.
Especially one of them was a known
Listen
Hamas
to me. Media,
guy.
international media. Sarah Sidner, by the way. Just want you to know Sarah Sidner that you see on CNN.
Mm-hmm.
She's got the biggest badunk-dunk you've ever seen, number one. Number two, she hangs out for like 10 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And then she produces a 3.5-minute news report.
Right.
And then you find out in your discovery that they turned over all the footage over to the FBI for facial recognition of everyone that was at the protest during
Correct.
that 8-hour period.
Yep. They do.
They're CIA.
They were doing that in 2014. Yeah.
They're CIA. They deserve to be blowed up. All right?
There you go.
Absolutely. You know what the best type of CIA agent is?
What?
A dead one. Yep.
Or one. Yeah.
Huh? Oh, I'm not allowed to say that? Is that advocating for dead CIA agents?
Not allowed to say that on YouTube.
I'll take a strike on that one. You ready? This day, in 1969, President Nixon honored Apollo 11 astronauts at a dinner in Los Angeles. What? Guess what happened in 1978?
What?
175 Marines. 175 people died in a devastating explosion at Beirut, resulting in hundreds of casualties. 1997, guess what? 1997, South Park debuted on Comedy Central.
Mm-hmm. And it was funny.
Right? It was funny back then.
It was, actually.
Hold on a second. Do I have more? That's it? That's the end of my list? That's all that happened?
Oh, look at this.
What? It's terrible.
In 2004, Hurricane Charlie devastated Florida.
Who cares? I skipped over that one. It was stupid.
I care.
Who's Hurricane Charlie?
It was crazy.
Okay, listen to me. I'm going to read something to you. Ready? The Cloward-Piven strategy is a political framework developed in 1966 by socialists and political activists Richard Cloward and Francis Piven. It advocates for deliberately overwhelming the U.S. public welfare system by encouraging mass enrollment of eligible individuals, thereby creating a systemic crisis, and to overwhelm by immigration our country. The goal is to force a collapse of our bureaucracy, compelling the federal government to intervene with radical reforms, right? We cause the collapse and then we offer the reforms, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's like Nancy Pelosi running to the podium with her geriatric porn knuckles, okay? And she does this. And her tits hitting the freaking floor. What?
There goes YouTube.
What?
Straight.
Seriously, Nancy Pelosi, she's got
All those 5 already?
saggy tits, okay? She does. With her geriatric porn knuckles, saying, oh, we need to solve the problem of the collapse caused by illegal immigration.
Mm-hmm.
She was the one that created illegal immigration.
Yeah.
And then, like Chicago, right? They're like, oh, we'll welcome anyone. They're our family, you know. And they got that brown communist dude who says something about his black American male prowess against President Trump.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He said that today.
He did say that today with a freaking high-pitched lisp and lack of mushroom penis to President Trump, right? Am I on fire or what? Oh, my goodness.
Wait until Lance comes on.
Oh, my goodness. Lance is coming on. Lance
Two Italians.
Migliaccio. Yeah, my good friend, Lance, the Big Mig.
Yeah.
This little tune is from the CEO and the Funnies. One of America's greatest tragedies because they don't put out more albums than they should be, huh? They should be multi-trillionaires.
Chicken still
We
fine?
will be right back right after this break, you guys. Lots of news to cover. We'll be right back.
The documentary you're about to watch is the most important documentary I've ever made. This story is far bigger than Tommy Robinson. This is about the weaponisation and the politicisation of these buildings. Court buildings across the West. The Royal Courts of Justice, ironically named. These buildings have been weaponised and used against members of the public to destroy them if they speak out. From Donald Trump to Steve Bannon, to Geert Wilders, to Marie Le Pen, to Katie Hopkins. That's what's happening. My job as a journalist, I stand for freedom of speech, I stand for freedom of the press. And I failed. Because 3 years ago when I lost a court case in here, and they bankrupted me to the tune of £1.6 million, on a documentary you're going to see the entire story was a lie. Okay? I failed because I should have come out of court and I should have played you that film. Why didn't I play you that film? Because I was given a gagging order by this building, by this judge. I was silenced, and I allowed them to silence me. Because I was scared. I was scared of 2 years in prison. I was scared of the effect that solitary confinement for that length of time would have on me. I was scared of jihadi gangs in jail. And I was scared of the effect it would have on my family. I failed me and I failed you. I'm not going to fail myself again. You're now going to watch the best citizen journalism and the most incredible expose of the establishment you've ever seen. The news is how we find out what's happening in the world. It's how we form our opinions. Opinions based on facts. That's the key. Facts. Facts should be delivered to you by journalists based on the truth. But what if what they're delivering you isn't the truth? What if it's stories that are manipulated to make you think a certain way, to follow a certain narrative, different people's agendas? And what do they do to those who go against that mainstream narrative, those who try to expose the truth? This is a documentary about the lengths they will go to shut down and silence anyone from bringing you, the British public, the truth.
If tomorrow all the things were gone, I'd work for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife. And thank my lucky stars to be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still.
And we're back.
We're back.
We're back. All right, so listen, I want to talk about the Cloward Piven strategy. All right?
Yes.
The goal is to force the collapse of our bureaucracy, compelling the federal government to intervene with radical reforms. Okay? You understand what I just said?
I do. I know about the...
President... Okay. All right, there you go. That's all we got, ladies and gentlemen. Have a good evening. You know it all. No, I mean, not you know it all.
Now, did I... Listen.
Are you going to punch me right now?
Do you all know... Did I just say that
Did
I
you just
know it
kick
all?
me under the table?
I just said, I know about the Cloward Piven. Please keep reading.
Oh, okay. No, I'm going to repeat this part. You ready?
Yes.
The goal is to force the collapse of our system, compelling the federal government to intervene with radical reforms. They brought in all these illegal immigrants. They brought in, let all the criminals go. They defunded the police. They incrementally, step by step, destroyed everything. And then President Trump goes in office, and he's got to come in and implement federal government radical reforms. Okay? We need to stop crime because they created the crime.
Yeah.
It's all by design. The strategy draws on the idea that exploiting gaps between laws and their actual implementation can mobilize anti-poverty groups to demand maximum benefits, lead to institutional breakdown and broader societal change, right? The immigration, blah, 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 right? All that stuff. The strategy's core concepts: identifying vulnerable systems, right? And then mobilize groups to flood these systems with demands and overthrow, essentially, causing overflow, overload, dysfunction, triggering a crisis that justifies sweeping government intervention. Replacing the old system with socialist-oriented policies like universal basic, their ideas are what they want.
Sure.
Universal basic income, right?
Yes.
Things like that. While the strategy focused on welfare in the 60s has been invoked in modern disclosure and discourse, particularly by conservative commentators, right? Conservatively. Who's that? Howard Piven, is it Cloward Piven? Piven herself has emphasized its relevance to ongoing progressive activism, such as efforts by figures like AOC to push for systemic changes amid political crises. She was a freaking bartender, okay?
Yeah.
Now she's a pregnant one. All right, you ready? Here's the strategy. Key examples drawn from recent events. You ready? Mass immigration, border overload, welfare and economic strain, criminal justice and social unrest, election and institutional manipulation. Our election system's broken. The immigration... So they did all of this, right?
They did.
Then President Trump's got to come in and say, you did all of this. And they said, you're a dictator. Well, guess what, folks? If we didn't have a dictatorship or a penis potato boat for YouTube people, okay? Can't say dictatorship, right?
Probably not.
Hope Pete never considers narrating children's books. He makes nasty noises.
Oh, that's pretty funny.
What does that mean?
I don't think you've ever considered it, though, so.
What kind of nasty noises? Huh? You're the recipient of my noises. I am a producer of noises.
Yeah.
Huh?
That's pretty funny.
See, little girl? Look at the size of the elephant's trunk. Right? Right? Thank goodness I'm not a leftist freaking children's book reader. So what noises were you hearing?
I don't know. I don't know.
I used to ride on long bike rides, like 25 miles out, 25 miles back, 50-mile rides, right, on a bike. And I'd listen to Alex Jones, and I had to stop listening to him because I could hear his teeth clenching. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, but that's when I was a feeder. Now I'm a consumer, right? Cocking his butt up, sometimes his right one toward Deb.
What?
All right. So here
is
we
someone
have.
accusing you of passing gas, Pete?
So here we have. What's that?
I said, is someone accusing you of passing gas?
Oh my God. You know what?
Remember when Swalwell did that?
Speaking of passing gas,
It was hilarious.
sometimes that has benefits. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Do as Jeremy Harrell says, and everybody lives.
Hey guys, what's going on? I got an incredible offer here for you from Pure Health Research. This is going to blow your mind. Look, I know so many people out there, especially as we get older, we want to drop a few pounds. We lose a little energy. We lose a little testosterone. We lose a little, estrogen. We just lose as we get older. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to gain, and this message is just for you. Pure Health Research is on a mission to what? Make America healthy again. They are aligned with Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s mission, and I'm aligned with that. Their two best-selling health supplements right now that are leading the way is the Liver Health Formula. Over 100 million Americans are sluggish because of a liver that is riddled with fatty deposits. This can kill your metabolism, pile on pounds, make you feel tired, all that. Liver Health Formula will take care of that. It supports your liver health with special nutrients like artichoke extract and milk thistle. This is one of the easiest ways to slim down. Next is the lymph system support. If you struggle with fluid buildup or swelling in your legs, ankles, been there, done that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this one's going to be for you. The natural ingredient in the lymph system formula helps gently flush extra fluids and toxins out of the body. Right now, you can get a limited time offer, 35% off right now. 35% off by going to purehealthresearch.com and using promo code LFA. That's Pure Health Research right now. Use promo code LFA and you'll get 35% off targeted products. I need something for this. I need something for that. They got it. And I want you to check out the reviews online. They are through the roof. purehealthresearch.com, promo code LFA.
And guess what our top news headline is? Are Coup-Plotters coaching Zelensky ahead of the Trump? This is part of the coup d'etat, ladies and gentlemen. They've been laundering money out of Ukraine, funneling tens of billions of dollars. The war profits that come from that, all of that's been going on a long time. CIA running that operation out of Ukraine, and it continues to this day. So anytime you hear any opposition, anytime you hear, exactly. Oh, my God. Seriously. Stop it. Oh, you know what?
I just broke her heart.
What?
I just broke her heart. I took it away from her.
Yeah, I mean, I see her chewing parts. Where is she right now?
Right here by my feet.
She better be. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, we have a, come here, Lucy. Can I show Lucy?
No.
Huh? Why not?
You want to get her up and...
Yeah. Come here, Lucy.
Oh, she's mad at me.
You want a treat?
She just gave me a dirty look.
Come here.
She's grown a lot, even this week. It's ridiculous.
Oh, my goodness. Here she is. Want a treat? Now, I have to teach her to do nice, okay? Because she's a really big dog now, okay? You got to do nice. Easy. 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 There you go. Good girl. You want more? More. This is Lucy. Lucy be gone.
We call her Lucy Be Good.
Come here. Come here, Gidget. Callie, when they come over here for a treat, I'll show you guys the other ones. But we have them in the studio. This is the way we roll, by the way. For you, those of you out there that are like, get to the nose, and you don't like dogs.
Mm-hmm.
We don't like people that don't like dogs.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah. Because they typically don't treat human beings that well either.
Mm-hmm.
Won't be much longer. You'll what? Be able to do that, Pete. Oh, yeah.
I know.
She's a monster right now.
So much.
How many months old now?
She's almost 6 months old.
Listen, because of our top news headline, I need to continue on because the coup-plotters right now, there's plenty of substantial evidence, especially from events in 2025, indicated that elected Democrats, right? Elected Democrats, people that we elected to protect the United States of America, publicly and privately encouraged Zelensky to reject a proposed peace and mineral deal during a White House meeting with President Trump, which led to a public blowout and derailed negotiations. This was widely reported as an act of sabotage aimed at prolonging the war and undermining Trump's foreign policy. Okay? Now, this is publicly doing this. All right? You're going to sit down and do a peace negotiation. They're cutting deals on the side, behind the scenes.
Yes.
Zelensky is working for the coup-plotters, for people like Chuck Schumer, who says, I can go out into Washington, D.C., no problem. He's got like 10 Secret Service agents, right? If I had 10 Secret Service agents in Washington, D.C., I'd have no problems too, right? I have an MRAP, no problem, right?
Ow.
And a 50 cal in a turret. Why do you do that and then look like, what? That's what I do. Anyways.
That hurts.
Sources include
Goofy?
statements from Senator Chris Murphy, who confirmed Democrats met with Zelensky beforehand and advised against the deal. Can you imagine these people are meeting with Zelensky and advising against the deal? Anything you hear out of Zelensky's mouth leading up to the meeting on Friday is coming from the coup-plotters.
I don't think...
I mean, we have proof of it. They're meeting with him.
Yeah.
Listen to this. For the specific upcoming Trump-Putin meeting in Alaska, evidence is more speculative, right? But drawing from that pattern, of course, where they meet with him. No direct confirmation of any secret encouragement, of course, because it's all CIA secrets, right? But they're going to sabotage the thing. And it's coming from the CIA. I wonder why they didn't invite Zelensky to the meeting.
No kidding.
I wonder why. Look at that. National Guard ramping up 24/7 presence on D.C. streets. That's the news going across the wire. But listen to this. No direct confirmation, but we've got Trump and Putin may get a cold reception from some Alaskans. These are news articles. You know what? I need you to get her. She's chewing wires right now.
Okay.
Please.
Take me off the screen.
Okay,
and I'll
thank
get
you.
her.
Sorry about that. I apologize.
I'll go get her.
Yeah, if you could. Trump and Putin may get a cold reception from some Alaskans, right? Eric Croft, chairman of the Alaskan Democrat Party and former state legislator, criticized the meeting as highlighting Trump's failure to end the war on day one, as promised, implying it risks concessions that undermine Ukraine. Yeah, there we go. We got Democrat coup-plotters recommending against any peace deal, of course, because behind them are BlackRock, the Clinton initiative, the global initiative. You have all of them that stand to earn billions, tens of billions of dollars in war profits to rebuild Ukraine. Got to keep that war going. Because the more damage we cause, the more building there is. There are so many conflicts of interest to ending this war. Trump's got, he's got not just the two parties to negotiate a peace deal with. He's got three. Why is JQ Public posting earthquakes? What are we doing? Earthquakes. Thanks for taking everyone's minds off into an earthquake. Anyways, we're talking about the upcoming Vladimir Putin, President Trump summit on Friday, where Zelensky's not going to be present, and guess who else is not going to be present? The coup-plotters are not going to be present. They're going to be operating secretly in the background, telling Zelensky what sort of leverage he has, which is really none when it comes to both sides. But the United States and Russia right now are essentially at war with each other. And Zelensky is a proxy. And I hope that President Trump says that on Friday. I hope he says it. Dummies for Putin. Listen to this article. Democrats defend Zelensky after a shameful Trump meeting. Remember, that came back in March. While focused on an earlier Trump-Zelensky meeting, multiple Democrat senators criticized Trump's overall Ukraine policy. Sheldon Whitehouse, we know who he is, of course, accusing Trump of acting like a ventriloquist dummies for Putin. Senator Chris Murphy called it an utter embarrassment for America, and Senator Dick Durbin stating that Trump is doing Putin's dirty work. Yeah. They say he's aligning with Vladimir Putin. Who are they aligning with, ladies and gentlemen? Who are their masters? Is it the Maoists in China? Or is it the Central Intelligence Agency? It's a higher level authority over Maoism. It uses Maoism. Trump's disaster meeting with Zelensky stuns Republican hawks. Remember, they wrote that back in February of 2025. Democrat lawmakers' support for Zelensky's refusal to concede land or resources, with reactions framing Trump's tactics as siding with Russia. An unnamed Democratic aide is quoted, "This sets a dangerous precedent for the Putin summit. No way should Ukraine give up an inch." There you go. I'm glad we have those Democrats working in the best interests of America. Do they operate in the best interests of America? No, they don't. They do not. In every single case, they do not. I don't have my clock in front of me. We have a few minutes left here before I bring on LanceMigliaccio. LanceMigliaccio is going to have a discussion. We're going to talk about the coup d'etat. We're going to talk about John Brennan reportedly being in Austria. That's what I'm hearing. And John Brennan seeking refuge, and I bet a whole bunch of other people are going to be seeking refuge in other countries as we approach indictments. A lot of information that's going to be coming out, and I think they're going to escape and try to evade accountability by going to foreign countries. All right, now I'm going to share something with you. This is a little bit of a change here as we go into the break. This was amazing. And we're going to dig into this because I want you to see the power of AI technology and how dangerous this is. It's very, very dangerous. Because, ladies and gentlemen, wait till you see this sensory overload from watching these images. Mind control is going to be a big, big consideration. Here's the first one.
Oh my God.
Watch this one. There's a couple more I'll share with you before the end of the show, okay? But we have to talk about this. The visual imagery plus the ability that they already have to manipulate your mind. Mm-hmm. You combine those two with the sensory, heightened sensory overload, right? From watching those visual images. You're going to be immersed in an environment. They're going to have apps. They will have the ability to take over your brain, ladies and gentlemen. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Stay right there. We'll be back with LanceMigliaccio. Look at this. Look at that.
This is the final battle. With you at my side, we will demolish the deep state. We will expel the warmongers from our government. We will drive out the globalists. We will cast out the communists, Marxists, and fascists. We will throw off the sick political class that hates our country. We will rout the fake news media, and we will liberate America from these villains once and for all.
If tomorrow all the things were gone I'd worked for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife. I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, 'cause the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, from sea to shining sea, from Detroit down to Houston and New York to LA. Well, there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say that I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. Proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the
Welcome back, everybody. Brand new format, brand new time, but certainly not a brand new face and voice here on our stream. Someone, I'm going to call him a friend. I hope he can suck back up to me and say he considers me to be a friend as well. A friend, a partner in this counter coup. Somebody who's known. He and I struck a friendship when he was on our streams. Him and George, they've spun off to do their thing. They're doing great, very, very successful show that they have. LanceMigliaccio, okay, and I'll pronounce that and then make sure that I get it said right. He's host of TheBigMig show. He and George, actually, as I said, got started here on our streams. I forget how long it has been. It's been quite a while now. Maybe a couple years. My introduction's terrible, and I apologize for that, for not knowing exactly. But he's a dynamic conservative media personality, no doubt about it. He's a podcast host, social media influencer known for his unfiltered take on politics, culture. You're going to hear it. He's very opinionated. Global events. He's a New York native, former MMA fighter, private government contractor, an actor. He hosts the TheBigMig show, podcast and videocast where he and co-host George Valentine dive into current issues with humor, investigative journalism, staunch commitment to free speech, absolutely. America First principles with a background in political science from CSU. It's Colorado State. And extensive global experience, LanceMigliaccio has built a loyal following by challenging mainstream narratives and advocating for transparency and liberty. I'm welcoming him for the first time here, but I want him to be, and I asked him to be a regular contributor because I think we're going into the busiest news cycle of our entire lifetimes, and it's beginning here just within the past several days. Lance, welcome back, sir.
Hey, thanks for having me, Pete. And of course, we're friends.
Yeah.
I mean, for the audience, to be honest with you, I think you probably are what pushed me to get started. Had it not been for you and Deb, I don't know. I built the studio and I kept dragging ass, and you were like, "Hey, come on over. Give you our last hour and let's do it." And I don't know without with you guys how much longer it would take me to get started. And we learned so much while being on your show, not only the technical part, but maybe things as simple as transitions, meaning, transitioning from stories and how to really work in a team to bring out the right news. So, my hat's off to you guys. I've always really greatly appreciated everything you did for us. So,
or fumbling,
absolutely.
Or fumbling with your clock during the introduction and continuing to speak and chew bubblegum and do all that stuff at the same time without anybody noticing.
Prepping these shows for the audience, when you hear Pete ask you, to join the subscribers or to do a Rumble rant tip, I don't think anybody really maybe grasps the amount of work that goes into each individual show. It's not only the research, it's not only the hardware and the software and, the graphics and, whether you're redoing your studio in one way or another. It's really complicated. And at the end of the day, you spend an inordinate amount of money. Sometimes you buy the wrong equipment and you get stuck with it. And then you're trying to figure out how you can use it, even though I screwed up. Yeah. So, what you taught us, there was an efficiency in what you taught us. But doing these shows, now we've got the TheBigMig show. That's our show, 11 a.m. on Rumble, Eastern Standard. Then we've got the Crypto Power Hour on Wednesdays and Fridays, and that's our crypto show, and that's doing really well on Rumble.
That's great.
We also do the Global Finance Forum on Fridays, and then we've got our nationally syndicated radio show. But to create all those shows, unbelievable.
Dude.
I would have never thought there was this much work.
Hold on a second.
Podcasts,
Hold on.
I had no idea.
All right. Correct me if I'm wrong. To be a content producer requires, the virtual equivalent of consuming 100 times more content. To produce content, you have to consume a lot of content, figure out what's going on. You can literally
spend, and you're going in all day. It's not like you're doing it all day consistently, but you're in for an hour, 2 hours.
Yeah.
Tonight I'll be on for 3-4 hours because we've got multiple shows, some live stuff and pre-record we're going to be doing for tomorrow. So, you got to create the thumbnails. You got to decide what the thumbnail is going to say, viral titles. you're trying to pick a show that you think the audience is motivated about. The amount of work that goes in these shows is no joke.
Yeah.
It's serious.
Yeah,
surprisingly
show prep.
so.
Welsh's dad, I always suspected that show prep is tough. It is. But that's not why we got together. Actually, we're coming back together. Is this the first show since you guys have been solo?
I think I filled in for a couple of shows while you were on vacation, but I don't think we might have done one. I don't remember now. It's funny the shows kind of all run together after a while.
Yeah.
But I think the original intro came. I think Roger Stone was the first one to introduce us. I believe
that's right. He did. He introduced you and I. Here's our segue. When we first got started, when you were on our show, I sincerely thought that something would have broken, something would have happened. There would have been some accountability. We understood the criminality. We'll talk about your background. You've got sensory acuity to know that there's very bad actors that were trying to overthrow us way back then. What, 3-4 years ago? How long ago was it? 3-4 years ago?
Yeah, it's probably, I would say it's probably nearly 4 years because I think I broke off, I don't know, a year and a half ago?
When was the pit? Remember the pit?
Yeah.
The
pit. Oh,
pit.
yeah. And there's a lot of people that are questioning what that was all about because nobody really knows what came from it or what didn't come from it. I guess there's some big fallout in that group, the MG show and other people. There's a big fallout going on that I noticed is just really got reactivated recently. Somebody says they're going to expose a bunch of lies and untruths, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what to believe. But the pit was an interesting thing because that exposed a lot of fraud.
It was huge. We've exposed a lot of fraud. We thought there was going to be some level of accountability. Never came. Zero. Not one perp walk over the past 4 years that we thought was not one.
Yeah.
So here we are. I believe we're turning the corner. And let me tell you my analysis, and then I want to get your opinion. And by the way, this is going to be light and loose here. We're going to go, we're just going to be conversational. I specifically wanted to have this conversation with you. If Tulsi Gabbard's releasing all this information, and you look at it and you read it, and I know you have, because you and I know how to read and interpret federal court docket and top secret declassified documents, that's a level of criminality. That's criminality that she just published. It has to be accounted for. I don't think she would be doing that if President Trump and Pam Bondi over at the DOJ were not going to prosecute the crimes that we know exist from the stuff that's been released. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, there's always a little bit of hesitation in my voice. It's not that I don't agree with what you said, but I'm always a little concerned because it doesn't ever seem like things move as quickly as I think things would move if, say, for example, you or I were running the show. I think that they could have already indicted these individuals. I think there's lots of low-hanging fruit. The standard process, for your audience is normally they do an investigation, they get an indictment, and the leverage they lose on the defendant is the superseding indictment. Now, that strategy that's cookie cutter. Every Department of Justice prosecutor across the nation uses that. And what they do is they strong-arm people into pleas. They don't want to go to trial. Because a lot of times I believe that they've hidden exculpatory evidence. I don't think the Department of Justice doesn't have its own issues, which we can talk about a little later in the show. But I think there's lots of criminality on that side of the justice scale. But that being said, you would hope that what they're pointing out would lead to charges. I did a little research. You remember we had a discussion, you and I, this afternoon, if you remember the discussion. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to check because I wasn't sure because, of course, you and I have never really had to do any investigation or education legally on treason, seditious conspiracy, sedition. We understand things like RICO, concurrent criminal enterprise, racketeering, which I would say those are kind of the common charges, right? You violated the Commerce Clause, yada, yada. But I did look, and seditious conspiracy does have, from the first overt act, does have a 5-year statute of limitations. But interesting enough, treason and sedition as separate charges under Title 18 do not. They do not have a statute of limitations.
Right.
So I would have to believe that these individuals are guilty I looked at the treason, description of treason. I looked at the definition of it. I looked at this definition of sedition. I believe that, like you also mentioned during our conversation, that the overt acts are still going on. I don't think they ever really stopped, right? They kept talking about the Russian collusion.
Yeah, you know what? Let's translate what you just said. The overt acts, basically what you just said, and it's real important for people to understand that the statute of limitations on an ongoing conspiracy, the conspiracy is still in full force and effect. I mean, listen. Look at what they're doing with Zelensky. They're behind the scenes talking to Zelensky, trying to sabotage the Trump-Putin deal, and those are the coup plotters. The CIA and all the Democrat minions are doing that. This conspiracy to overthrow us is still going.
It doesn't help that Trump's had lots of successes, and of course, they're trying to figure out how to do damage control. They've lost control of some of their narrative control system. But for the audience, the first overt act would be if you were going to rob a liquor store, and let's say theoretically you needed to buy a getaway car. So if you started making phone calls to people that were selling a car, that would be considered the first overt act. So if you go out and acquire the handgun you're going to use in the crime, or you go and get some rope and some duct tape because you're going to tie up the liquor store clerk, that's your first overt act. Once you do that, the way that the federal system works is that you basically have already committed the crime. So even if you never commit the burglary, the fact that you're already preparing for it, that overt act makes you guilty of the crime. So in the case of these individuals, all of them, doesn't matter what we're talking about, Brennan, Clapper, Comey, Wray, Adam Schiff, they all participated in what they already knew was a fraudulent event. Now, that's the other thing. Fraud has no statute of limitations. So it's possible because they created the Steele dossier and it was a fraudulent document that they all knew was fraud, and then they presented it as, truthful to the American public and otherwise. I would have to think that's fraud on the entire operation. But again, I'm legally educated, but I'm not a professional. I don't do it for a living. So,
I love the conspiracy charge as it relates to, because these people know how to cover their tracks. They know how to scrub their lines of communication. They know how to do all of that. So the conspiracy
bleach
charge.
Bit and a hammer if nothing else works.
What's that?
Bleach bit and a hammer if nothing else works. That's the Hillary Clinton model.
Exactly. That's right. All right, so the elements of a conspiracy, it's pretty broad and ambiguous, right? The grand conspiracy that they refer to.
Yeah.
You have to have a crime, right, to commit. And, the crime to overthrow the will of the people, right, to overthrow an elected presidency, that is a crime. A plan or a scheme embodying means to accomplish that crime, and then an agreement or understanding between two or more people to cooperate for the accomplish even an element, a part of the crime. And what I mean by that is, even if, let's say Adam Schiff says, well, I didn't know that, it was a declassified document. I didn't know by doing that, that I was part of some grand conspiracy to overthrow President Trump. Guess what? Your participation in that effort, and you met with a group of people, that was your role in this grander crime. But if your conduct helped advance the overall objective, then you're guilty of participating in the conspiracy. You understand?
Yeah. I'm sure they always say that the mens rea of a crime, right? You have to have the mental state that you knew it was a crime when you committed it. Although they say ignorance of the law is no excuse for committing a crime, right? Just because you didn't know doesn't make you guilty. So it's really kind of double-edged the way they've set it up, the Department of Justice. But I think the mens rea in this case is very clear. I think all these individuals, were fully aware of what they were attempting to, complete, what they wanted to do to Donald Trump, what they wanted to do to the American people. They had intent. So I think the mens rea is pretty clear. I think the tricky part will come from if Barack Obama is as involved as everyone is saying he is, that the paperwork shows, the email shows, where does presidential immunity start and stop?
Yeah.
To me, I think if you use presidential immunity and your intent is you're knowingly committing a crime that I can't believe that presidential immunity would cover you, because we're not talking about national security interests, because that has a wide swathe. I think what's tricky here is, how much of presidential immunity will cover. And of course, we already know that he lied, previously multiple times to the public and otherwise. Does that impact presidential immunity? Now, I'm not as familiar with presidential immunity as maybe you are, Pete. I don't know how familiar you are. Mm-hmm. I've looked at it, but I don't know that I fully comprehend where the start and dead stop line is.
I do. You want to hear it? I think you're going to like this. Go back through and read it. Where official, right? If your official duties per the Constitution, right? Mm-hmm. The president has official duties per the Constitution to protect us, protect our laws, take care of stuff. Yeah. He may have to go to war. He may have to kill people. But his intent is to protect the United States of America. And he'll gather a bunch of people in his Oval Office. The official, director of this, the official director of this, the official director of this, the official director of this. And they're going to offer him advice. The purpose of the immunity is to give him the absolute authority that based on the information he's receiving, he's going to want to protect. We don't want him second guessing, well, if I make a wrong decision, am I going to be sued? Am I going to be held accountable, right? He needs to make a decision as to what to do to protect the American people and to fulfill his duties under the Constitution. Here's the key thing, and I didn't want to bore you with that side of it. That's boring, right? The other side of it, and this is where it reads in the Supreme Court, that his unofficial acts, and here's an example of an unofficial act. If he picks up the phone and he calls Antifa and he says, what, I got a really big concern about President Trump. He's colluding with the Russians and doing all this stuff. I need you to, come in and kind of bang some pots and pans in Washington, D.C., set some fires, make things look real right, and disrupt what's going on. That's a unconstitutional act to contact a private entity. Or let's say the DNC, they're a private entity. Or let's say the Open Society Foundation, a private entity. To contact them, that's an unofficial act. If you do that, you are not immune with your conduct with unofficial duties or actions.
That would seem that he's already lost the protection of presidential immunity. But I think I was looking at some statutes. I was looking at malfeasance, nonfeasance, and misfeasance by government officials. And and sometimes you look at things like prosecutorial misconduct, right? And you look at the administrative capacity of individuals. When you sign that government contract, right, you take an oath to uphold the Constitution as part of it, allegedly. And then you also are committed to staying within the capacity for which you were hired. So I also think when you go beyond the scope of what would be normally expected of a president of the United States, and you have knowledge, I don't believe it's possible that Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, and so many others, Bill Barr, all weren't fully aware of what they were doing at the get-go. I think they had a strategy meeting. I think we're going to find out that they had multiple meetings. They got together. They planned and orchestrated it. The first overt act, if the meeting was set up with the intent to undermine Donald Trump and or impeach Donald Trump and or incarcerate or bring fraudulent charges against Donald Trump, if that was what the meeting was about, if they sent out a memo or if they just did it by hidden BlackBerry. We know that Hillary Clinton bought 40-some-odd BlackBerries off of eBay because she wanted to use them on the government network, but she didn't want them to be registered to her or any of the individuals she was dealing with. So let's say they were using those BlackBerries. Even her buying those BlackBerries, if that was part of this operation, that would be an overt act.
Yeah.
And I would think that if Obama or anybody else took a possession of a BlackBerry, took possession of read an email and it said, here's what we're planning, and he agreed to meet regardless of whether he used Signal or otherwise, that would be the first overt act. And that, to me, would be misfeasance, malfeasance, and nonfeasance. And that would exceed the administrative capacity of the President of the United States.
And for what purposes? They could say, well, to avoid FOIA. No, it's for the purposes of advancing the conspiracy, the grand conspiracy, right? Yeah, this is going to be and I'm not just overblowing this. As a matter of fact, I want to do the opposite. The reason why I'm bringing this up is the last time we were together and we're doing shows, 4 years ago, we're talking about, at any moment, some guy named Q is going to come out with his pen.
Yeah, we all thought it was going to happen soon.
Q.
A lot of us we thought that there were, lots of knowledge. We caught them all, and I didn't ever buy into the Q narrative. I
Patriots are in charge. Yeah.
I thought that there was more going on behind the scenes, and I really, truly expected to see some arrests. Now, when I say that, it's because there were a lot of people at higher levels that said, oh, don't worry, they're not going to get away with it. We were involved in a lot of conversations with lots of individuals that said they were in the know and said, oh, this is, Now, did I ever buy into enjoy the show, eat the popcorn? Nah. I thought that was total bullshit.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Now, listen, I just want to let you know, at the 30-minute mark, I have a break. So between now and then on the other side, we're gonna bring things back around full circle. The situation we have, we're going to talk about Roger Stone's recent posts, or he's putting stuff out. Actually, Deb and Roger are pretty close, like you and Roger are pretty close. So we cross-check with him on the validity of information that's coming. He's got some pretty reliable sources regarding Brennan. We're going to talk more about Brennan on the other side of the break. But these people right now, to talk openly, have you ever heard of such a thing where they're like, you, for instance, you've had the DOJ come after you, sir. Did they go on the news and say, we're going to pursue him and we're going to come and get him and let me show you some documents?
No, my indictment was sealed. It was a sealed indictment.
They don't tell you anything, do they?
No.
They investigate?
No, there was no knowledge of that at all. And not that I would expect them to telegraph it in any means. But what I would expect is that with the information they've already provided to the public, that it doesn't seem to me like getting an indictment would be very difficult. I don't think you need the entire case. And let's face it, does anybody truly believe that Brennan, Clapper, Comey, Ray, or any of them at all would hold up if they were told that they were going to be facing a treason or sedition charge? No, because they'd be looking at life or death. At the end of the day, I believe that just indicting them and not allowing them on bail because they're a flight risk, like they do to so many defendants that aren't flight risk, that's a no-brainer. Don't you think that all the information that would start spewing out of them could, change the timeline on how long it would take? Because let's face it, you can look at Comey and see that he's a snitch ready to go. That guy has snitch written all over him. He looks like a coward.
Oh yeah,
and he acts like a coward.
What they cited as a talk show host. I mean, I'm in shackles and I'm at detention here, a release hearing, right? Talking about, the elements of what causes them to hold somebody. And one of the key things was the number of years that I was to spend. I faced 4 life sentences. If I was prosecuted for the charges, 4 life sentences, that would cause me to flee. So I was a flight risk automatically, although I was standing there with a flower and a microphone and I'm a talk show host, just because I faced. Now, all of these people face the same thing, but they're on the other side, outside of shackles. Isn't that dangerous? They are a flight risk right now.
Well, we've already heard, and there's proof, that they actually leaked national security information.
Yes.
Now, theoretically, let's just say you're one of these individuals. We know they're all sitting on a tremendous amount of national security, and classified top secret information. There isn't one person so far that's been named that isn't sitting on a lot of it. How difficult would it for them to be to cut a deal with Russia or China to say, I need to come there and I need to be protected. And for that, I will provide you all this national security information I have about the United States government. How simple would it be for them to make a deal like that? My argument would be it would be very simple. So why leave these people running around? They already have the basic charges for indictments. Mm-hmm. They don't need every single charge. I say round them up and stick them in one of the pretrial facilities and don't give them bond and sweat them out. You'll get lots of information, and then you don't have to worry about them making a deal with China, Russia, or maybe North Korea, one of our potential, not going to say enemies, but one of the countries that we're clearly in conflict with. And we don't necessarily have a great relationship with, 24/7, 365. But look how simple it would be for any one of these individuals to trade for safety and security and for another country. They could probably get a certain amount of money. They could probably get a residence, and they would say, oh, no, we're not extraditing. He's non-extraditable.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Then what?
And you know what? There's people, and we have a broad, diverse audience. There's people, and if you're an attorney, you're tuned in. We have attorneys that are tuned in. People are very well educated. So it's not to dumb it down. We all need to understand what I'm about to say as to what Lance mentioned earlier about a superseding indictment. It's a strategy. How do you bring them in? You could actually say, you know what, we've got enough right now on a conspiracy charge. We still need to do a little bit more work, clean it up. But these guys are a flight risk. So we're going to issue an indictment that says they did really bad things. And you arrest them. You put them in shackles. That's the indictment. It's broad and ambiguous. And then you've
heard the story before. The DOJ is, publicly stated they could indict a ham sandwich.
Oh, yeah. They can. They can indict a ham sandwich. Then you show the charges, what they're facing. Once they get that, and it's a long-term thing, then what they can do is say, well, we're not ready to publish the full, give them all the cards, but we have enough to put them in shackles, hold them, and then maybe in 6 months we'll issue a superseding indictment, which basically cancels out the first one, and it says, yeah, they did real bad things, and here are the specifics, right? That superseding indictment. I think they need to employ that strategy right now, today.
I think it's compelling enough if there's any truth to the fact that Brennan left the country. There's a lot of talk about it. We're going to be talking about it here in a little bit. If there's any truth to that, wouldn't that be justification for all these other individuals? We don't know how well-heeled they are. I mean, if we're talking about Barack Obama, we know he has a lot of money. I'm not suggesting that Barack Obama is going to be one of the ones that's going to be a flight risk, but I think if he's facing serious charges, does he have the wherewithal to evade law enforcement, make a deal in another country, and never come back to the U.S.? Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, how are all these people? Most of them are in the intelligence community. Look at their backgrounds.
Yeah.
I mean, I faced those consequences for my case.
That's right.
They were talking about me, and at one point I leaned over to my attorney and I said, are they talking about me or James Bond? Because, when they were talking about not giving me bond, they said I was too well-traveled. They believed I had multiple passports, my experience as a contract. It just went on and on and on. But it was, but that's what they do, right? Because the best way, they know that if you don't get bond, you won't be able to fight your case. Because you can't effectively fight a case from inside a jail. The law libraries are no good. No. The visits aren't enough. No. There's nothing you can do.
They
once
spy
you're
on
there
you.
And yeah.
They use it to spy on you.
Well, they listen, and I don't know if we want to start before the break, but probably one of the worst.
A minute and a half, so.
Yeah, so I'll just give a teaser to the audience. When we come back, I'm going to give you guys what I would say is probably the largest civil rights violation in U.S. history, committed by our own Department of Justice and multiple federal agencies. And it's been going on since 2006.
This is a great segue. You want to know why? Because one of the reasons why they haven't fixed that system is because I think they're going to use it against all these perpetrators. Keep them behind bars, keep them away from their attorneys, and listen to everything, right? All of their blocked
that's what they've been doing.
That's exactly what they've been doing. To how many people do you think are impacted by spying on attorney-client privileged calls?
Well, specifically, and I don't want to get too deep in yet because it's a long story. No. Let me say this. I will give those numbers. Let's say everybody stay tuned. When we come back, I'll give you some specific numbers of what I believe and how many thousands of cases are impacted by this crime. And I'm talking about violations of multiple, statute 18, of course, Title 18.
Yeah. You guys,
eavesdropping, wiretapping, prosecutorial misconduct, obstruction of justice. The list goes on and on and on.
I want everybody to know we did not plan to mention what we just mentioned, but it's probably one of the biggest things that you've heard in a long, long time. The far-reaching implications of what we just mentioned. We'll talk a little bit more about it on the other side of the break with LanceMigliaccio. And he'll be joining me when we have news to cover periodically throughout the entire coup. We'll be right back.
Caitlin. Thank you, Caroline. Two questions for Director Gabbard just on this. Director Gabbard, you referenced the past intelligence reports and assessments on this, including that 2017 one that was signed off, as Ed noted, by every Republican on the Senate intelligence community, including the acting chair of the time, now Secretary of State Marco Rubio, who said in a statement that they did not find any evidence of Russian collusion, but they did find, however, is very troubling, and they found irrefutable evidence of Russian meddling. One, are you saying that he's wrong in that statement that he made then? And secondly, what would you say to people who believe that you're only releasing these documents now to improve your standing with the president after he said that your intelligence assessments were wrong?
Well, first, I want to correct something that you stated, which was citing the Senate Intelligence Committee's report as being one and the same. I think you said the intelligence community. The Senate Intelligence Committee has a very different function than the Office of the Director of National Intelligence. The evidence and the intelligence that has been declassified and released is irrefutable. I'm going to let Caroline speak to Secretary Rubio.
I'll speak to both questions. First, on Secretary Rubio, he put out a statement in 2020 following that Senate Intelligence Committee report, and he said what they found is troubling. We found irrefutable evidence of Russian meddling, which the Director of National Intelligence just confirmed for all of you, that Russia was trying to sow distrust and chaos. But what's the outrage in this that Secretary Rubio did not say at the time, the Democrats were saying at the time, is the fact that the intelligence community was concocting this narrative that the president colluded with the Russians, that the president's son was holding secret meetings with the Russians, all of these lies that were never true. And he also said at that time, we discovered deeply troubling actions taken by the FBI under Comey, particularly their acceptance and willingness to rely on the Steele dossier without verifying its methodology or sourcing. The Steele dossier that many outlets in this room ran as the gospel truth, and it was cooked up and paid for by the Clinton campaign.
The White House is ours, so beautiful to see. And our president's up early looking over the sea. He keeps on trolling them, America's back, and there's nothing to fear. The American spirit's strong, here come the golden years. Have you still not learned that if you're angry or sad, President Trump will make us smile up on the roof? Everything is alright up on the roof. God bless America.
The only other adversary of ours who's anywhere near as good as the Russians is China. So why should Russia have all the fun? And since Russia is clearly backing Republicans, why don't we ask China to back us?
Hillary was the lady, planning it for so long. It was hers for the taking. How did it all go so wrong? President Trump was the problem, because you'd be in jail. So they enlisted some feds, a secret plan they created, America they misled. But they got treason, Obama, Russian collusion they blame, Clapper, Rice, Comey, Brennan, and other losers in their game. Does he really think of the Big Mike? Indictment soon and taking shape. There is nowhere to run to. They've been caught, no escape.
All right, this is our theme, and I definitely want to touch on this and get Lance's opinion, are coup-plotters coaching Zelensky? I mean, that's a quick discussion. They've been doing it for many years. We could talk about the CIA, Ukraine, everything leading up to this. That'll be in just a little bit. Before we went to the break, you know what? I didn't expect for us to have that part of the conversation. But I really want to overemphasize how important, and without mentioning any specifics, it needs to be fixed. The far-reaching implications of a system as to the weaponization of government that has been used to the advantage of the government in violation of a lot of people's rights. I'll throw it to you.
I mean, in clear violation of the Sixth Amendment and many other charges. I mean, there's plenty of statutes on the books for it. So what we told you guys before the break, what we were talking about, is that there's been a company that's been involved with the Department of Justice. They claim accidental. The very first case, and what we're talking about is the eavesdropping by the Department of Justice and federal agencies on privileged communications, which would be your communications with your defense attorney, maybe a private investigator, the paralegals on the team, because through the Sixth Amendment, you are guaranteed safe and secure communication as part of your rights if you've been criminally indicted through the Constitution. Of course, there are many other laws on the books that says they can't illegally eavesdrop on privileged communications. So what's happened is a company called Securus Technologies. You guys can go look this up. This isn't a claim that I've just made up. There are literally multiple cases. The first case was a case out of Boston, Massachusetts, called U.S. versus Novak, and it was an attorney. He ended up getting charged. They actually tried to criminally charge him for some discussions he was having with his client. Although I don't think the case ever went fully forward. The attorney said, well, how are you even listening to my discussions with my client? And they made a bunch of excuses. Now, this is under Securus Technologies' old name, Pete. This is before they became Securus Technologies. Mm-hmm. But since then, there's been cases in New Hampshire, New York, Texas, California, Kansas City. The Romero case is one of the more well-known cases. And there's even been a hacker that actually hacked Securus. One of the biggest, earliest drops, we found out that 70,000 privileged communications from this hack that happened. He said, well, they're listening to your illegal phone calls. Now, there's disclaimers at all the prisons. They usually give you, if you're on a pretrial detainment, whether it's a Bureau of Prisons facility or a contracted facility, the law is the same.
Yeah.
Basically, once they become a contracted facility, they're required to give you privileged communications with your attorney, and those are supposed to be protected. But I think what's really incredible about this is that they know about it.
Yes.
And they are still doing business with Securus Technologies. They are still contracted all across the nation at Bureau of Prison facilities, at contracted facilities, core civic facilities.
Not just
which
know
would
about
mean
it.
To me they know about it, but yet they're not doing. They haven't done anything to change the relationship with Securus. I would assume that would be immediate cancellation of the contracts.
Do you know? And I know the answer partly. The answer to this question. They know about it. Do you believe that they haven't fixed it because they're benefiting from it? Do you have any evidence of that?
I mean, think about it for the audience. If you were on criminal charges from the federal government and you wanted to have private communications with your attorney and you were promised that by the Constitution and the laws, the facilities, even, pretty much every step of it, you're told that you're going to be able to communicate with your attorney in a secure manner. What would you think the impact would be? You're criminally charged. I'm talking to the audience. You guys have a criminal charge for tax evasion. And you're now talking to your attorney about your case. What do you think the damage would be if you knew that the Department of Justice was listening to every single phone call you had with your attorney?
Yeah, on your legal strategy.
Legal strategy, plea negotiations, maybe evidence that's somewhere or somebody that knows the truth and you want to have them come in as a witness, or something where you're acknowledging you might be guilty of this, but you're not really guilty of what they're saying. Here's what really happened. And you're basically, going through everything that happened in your case with your attorney, because a lot of attorneys don't come to jails. They do their legal phone calls they do their, interviews, and they do their, casework with you over the phone.
Mm-hmm.
So what would the impact be for you? And do you think that's fair? The Sixth Amendment guarantees you that that's not going to happen. This even gets much worse than what I'm describing. So I actually had a whistleblower come out of my case, Pete, as you know, and that whistleblower brought all this up. I'd actually heard some of this, but I never really had proof of it. We actually filed a motion. My prosecutor did the exact opposite.
Mm-hmm.
She lied and said that it never happened and that we needed to withdraw the motion. And then she threatened me with additional charges if I didn't pull the motion about them listening on my phone calls. Well, since I didn't have any rock-solid proof, I didn't have actually in writing in my hand, I didn't have any choice. And, of course, she was talking about bringing additional charges. Here's the point. Forget me. We're talking about, and let me give you the statistics, Pete. In all the criminal cases across the United States, of all the cases, in 10 to 15% of all those cases, the DOJ prosecutors or the ATF or DEA or FBI or, Department of Homeland Security, they order the discs, 10 to 15% of all cases. That's the standard rule. Now, I'm not suggesting that every one of those orders was a Securus facility. There are a couple of other phone providers, although Securus damn near has, a monopoly at this point. But Securus is providing the largest section of that. So let's just say 10 to 15% of all cases. How many cases do you think there's been? Because I don't know the number, but I'm going to ask you. I have an idea. How many cases since 2006, criminal cases, do you think there's been in the federal government? How many criminal cases?
Oh.
You can pick any number because I'm not going to, correct you. Just pick a number.
12 million.
I don't know how many there are, but let's use an easy number for the audience. Let's just say 1 million cases.
Million, right? Yeah.
Let's say since 2006 to 2025. I'd say I think 1 million is probably okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so in 10 to 15% of those cases, the discs for all the phone calls made at the pretrial detainment facilities were ordered. Now, some of those facilities, some of these orders also include people that have already been convicted that they think might still be up to conspiring, and they're still investigating, and maybe they've got other people they want to catch, and so they're ordering those also. But let's just talk about the people that are fighting a case. That's 150,000, right? 100 to 150,000. Let's say that. Let's just pick a number, Pete. Let's say 75% of the 100,000 were at a Securus facility, because I believe those numbers are relatively accurate. That means 75,000 individuals' phone calls were ordered. Now, that doesn't mean that those people didn't have multiple calls with their attorney. So we're not talking about one set of single phone calls. One person could have talked to their attorney 50 times. You and I could have talked to our attorneys twice.
Mm.
Every time, and if anybody wants to look this up, they can go to the Special Masters Report in Kansas City by a guy named David R. Cohn. In that Special Masters Report, he refers to the possibility that this is a technology issue. This is a software issue. The software issue was that every time they updated the software, all the legal blocks across the nation were wiped out.
Mm-hmm. You got to put them back on. Yeah.
So they were wiped out.
Meaning
and they would have
that
to reinstall them.
That's right. Meaning that the DOJ would have all those calls turned over to them, and they could listen in on them.
So that disc comes to the DOJ, and now they've got all the legal phone calls. Now, here's a great question. Pete, how many times when the prosecutors got those discs, or the ATF or DEA got those discs, or the FBI got that disc, and they were reviewing the file, and they heard the phone call go through, Harvey Steinberg law firm, or whatever law firm, right?
Mm-hmm.
How many times when they heard that did those agencies and or the prosecutors immediately file a motion with the courts to say we may have an issue? We accidentally obtained privileged communications, and we want to make the court aware of it, because if we don't, just for the audience, that would be considered misprisions of a felony. Mm-hmm. You've committed a crime if you don't acknowledge you received privileged communications, especially because you just violated the wiretapping laws, because neither party approved that recording.
Oh, yeah.
Right? The attorney didn't approve it. You didn't approve it. And a third party can't intercept. That's an interception, and that's a crime.
How many instances?
But how many times did they notify the courts that they had accidentally obtained legal phone calls since 2006 to 2025?
How many?
0.
No.
From what I can find.
No.
Never
Really?
even once.
Wow. Listen, we have 10 minutes left here. You ready?
Please.
And this is a great discussion. And Lance, I asked you, and you acknowledged, so I'm not putting you on the spot with something you can't answer. When news breaks, things happen. I want us to kind of collaborate, come together, and try to make sense of everything. And listen, I don't trust too many people out there as far as their analysis, their knowledge, their overall knowledge, and their composure, as well. You're not Alex Jones going to cry like he did on 9/11. You know what I mean? Bad things are going to happen.
I'm unlikely to cry. Let's over one of my dogs. Maybe.
He did. He cried on 9/11. He's going to get worse. The new
I'm very
world
emotional
order.
when it comes to my pets.
Yes,
That's about it.
yes. And you used to smile so much more when we were together 4 years ago. You seem battle-hardened now in this information war.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it does it to you. At the end of the day, I think I said it to somebody the other day. The more you know, the worse it gets.
Yeah. All right. Now, listen, let's split it up here in two. I want to talk about Ukraine, okay? Because that is going to tie to the bigger picture which is the CIA. The CIA has been using the Ukraine as a piggy bank. They effected a coup d'etat in 2014. I know this. They were delivering tires by the tractor trailer full. There's plenty of circumstantial evidence. We don't have clearances, of course. We don't have verifiable proof. But Ukraine was overthrown. So we know that the Coup-Plotters are attached to this effort by the CIA, John Brennan will say, that was in the Oval Office. The whole thing with the Steele dossier and the partnership with the MI6 and so on and so on. But what do you say if I were to tell you, and I already reviewed it in today's show, that the Democrats have been advising Zelensky in opposition to President Trump to negotiate what do you say that this coup plotting organization over on the left has been advising Zelensky to not strike a deal with Vladimir Putin? What do you say to that?
I would say that it's credible. My opinion is that I have a pretty credible source in D.C. At this point, I've been told that Zelensky has over $1.6 billion in offshore accounts. So do I believe that the Democrats or other deep staters, no matter what side of the aisle are involved in orchestrating and advising Zelensky behind the scenes on what to do and what not to do? Absolutely. There's no doubt, because Zelensky is any port in a storm at this point. I mean, that war was lost the day he started it. Had he not received the support and the funding and the weapons from NATO and from ourselves, he would have already lost, correct? That would have been done.
Okay, then.
But we know
hold on a second. Wait.
Wait.
Time out. Stop right there, because I want you to make this point. Do you agree or disagree that Ukraine has been a proxy in this war between the United States and Russia?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this
I think that this war. I think that Ukraine for a very long time. You look back at the history of Burisma. I think when you start looking at Derchak and a lot of the other people that testified, there's no doubt that it was a money laundering operation. Now, we know about the labs, the bio labs. They definitely existed. We saw pictures. The Russians did a great job of putting those details out. The U.S. government did a great job of covering those up. We know that they were DOD supported and DOD financially driven. We know the listening posts that Putin said he didn't want on his border existed. There was at least 3 CIA listening posts. Zelensky's a puppet. I believe he was installed. You've already seen that the U.S. was involved in the election interference in Venezuela. What makes people believe that they weren't involved in installing Zelensky in Ukraine? That's been a deep state hub for a very long time. The Burisma story, they like to talk about Hunter Biden, but what about all the other individuals that were involved in Burisma? We know that Biden used his influence. We caught him dead to rights, saying he called up and threatened that if that prosecutor wasn't fired, the whole thing was a cover-up. So Zelensky, come on. I mean, you've seen him. He was a 2-bit actor that, I think one of his bits was it's supposed to be that he was naked from the waist down playing the piano with his penis. So that in itself is ridiculous. And then you look at some of the other stuff. I don't believe it. I don't believe that he wasn't, we've seen many politicians get installed, even in our own government. Mm-hmm. So are they, working with Zelensky on a constant stream of here's what you should do next, to the point that I wouldn't be surprised that some of our national security discussions are being provided to him to maybe be used as tools to kind of make his next decision in play. In the meantime, the money parade continues on. How much of that money is getting, because listen, dark money, dark operational money has always existed in the intelligence communities, right? Mm-hmm. Do I believe that money that should have gone to Ukraine, whether it's weapons being sold on the dark web or money that got filtered to different people? Look, his wife bought a 4.6 million euro Bugatti. He bought a $16 million penthouse in in Dubai. He bought his parents an $8.5 million house in Rishpon, Israel.
Did he really?
His parents, yeah.
Wow.
In Switzerland, he bought him and his cronies bought $46 million worth of ski in, ski out resort properties.
Jeez.
He bought himself a ski in, ski out resort hotel in France.
Holy cow.
In the south of France.
Hey,
listen, this guy has just gotten so wealthy, but I believe that other people have also, Pete.
Okay, now we're going to segue to John Brennan here as we finish out in the final 4 minutes that we have here, 3 minutes. Mm-hmm. Enough said, because there's more to cover here. I believe what's going to happen on Friday is going to be big. I really do. It's not going to be Putin and Trump, and then let's see if we can get Zelensky. I don't think it's going to be that. I think something big. I don't know what, but we can speculate.
What makes you believe Friday's the deadline?
I say Friday because I think that Putin and I think Trump has an opportunity to go and say, you know what, this whole Zelensky thing, we don't need to check with him about anything. This war has been between the United States and Russia, and I want to end it. And Zelensky has been a pawn in the scheme. So he has no say-so. Okay? As a matter of fact, I want to turn Ukraine into another Trump resort. How about that? Right? So I think that may come out of it. Final comment here. Roger Stone's now reporting. And he's got great sources. You know this, right? Do you trust Roger Stone's reporting?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, absolutely. He's reporting that John Brennan is now gone from Austria to Ireland. In the final 2 minutes that we have here, I want you to comment on this thing that's happening, Brennan fleeing, that obviously the presumption of innocence is gone just by him fleeing, him wanting to flee like that. He's going to make up reasons. But what say you can he get safe harbor anywhere in the world? Anywhere. It doesn't matter if it's an adversary or a ally.
Like I said earlier, maybe if he was willing to trade national security secrets, there might be multiple countries that would be willing to take him in. I don't know what he's got on zip drives or hard drives. What's he traveling with? Let's face it, he probably had a go bag prepared the minute Donald Trump got elected.
Dude.
As far as having the ability to, go to different countries, I don't know how many passports he's got. I assume with a guy with his background could have many. At the end of the day, my guess would be if he went to Ireland, he's probably thinking about Gibraltar. Because, there's extradition issues in Gibraltar. He might be on his way to there because I don't think that he can get protected in Ireland. But that being said, he could be in the midst of negotiating with, North Korea, China and or Russia this moment.
Can you imagine? We're wrapping up. Now, Lance, will you come on with me? News breaks. We come on, make sense of it. You've already said yes to it. We look forward to having you back here on LFA TV.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it. Thanks to the audience for giving us
our
the time.
best to George. Say hello to George. You guys are doing a great job. I'm really proud of you. You don't need to take my. I feel proud. You started with us, and you guys are doing really well.
Man.
Yeah, it's a big thing.
Appreciate it. We've been working hard.
Oh yeah. So everyone, I want you to subscribe to the Big Mig podcast. I'm going to put the link down below. LFA TV. Shoot, I think the Big Mig needs to be on LFA TV as far as I'm concerned. Maybe we'll talk to Jeremy about that. It's all we got time for, folks. next show up is the Flyover Conservatives. Don't miss it. Our Coup-Plotters coaching Zelensky, ladies and gentlemen. Are the Coup-Plotters coaching Zelensky? I think so. Now, I've said to everybody that if you do what Jeremy Harrell says, of course, everyone lives. And one of those things that he says is to support our sponsors. It's a great way, ladies and gentlemen, to keep us going in independent media and not beholden to, like, Alex Jones can't talk about Elon Musk because he makes millions with him. But for right now, let's listen to a message from Jeremy Harrell.
Hey there, folks. It's me again. Hope you don't mind I'm popping in on this show, and I hope you're enjoying this program on LFA TV. But I want to talk about something very serious here, and that is the performance of your liver. Folks, you only have one. And last I checked, you can't just go on Amazon or online and buy another liver. So you want to make sure that liver is functioning properly. And because of the diets that we have here in America, you don't need to have ever been a big drinker to have liver damage, okay? And one thing you want to make sure is that your body's second largest organ, your only liver, your only elimination process is not only not damaged, but working properly. So I went to the hospital a few months back. I had some blood drawn. They said I had some liver damage. I asked, how do I fix that liver damage? They said, well, luckily for you, it's not that bad. So if you introduce things like turmeric and ginger into your life, maybe dandelion, it will help repair that damage. I said, okay, what do I do? They said, have you tried Dose Daily for your liver? I said, no. I reached out to Dose Daily. I made it a part of my everyday life. And guess what, folks? Liver damage repaired. Turmeric, ginger, milk thistle, orange, dandelion. These are great things that you need in your life, and they are things that your body's elimination process needs. You can get 30% off right now by going to dosedaily.co/LFATV. 30% off. What are you waiting for? Like I said, you can't order another liver, but you can order some Dose Daily from dosedaily.co/LFATV.
Watch this.
Oh, hold on. Wow.
This is all AI. Now, I want you to imagine how this has appealed to your senses. Okay? It's kind of mind-blowing, isn't it? Now imagine what they can do with that visual stimulation with some mind control. It's pretty overwhelming. We'll be digging into that pretty extensively as to what the technocratic capabilities are of perpetrating mind control. Look at that.
Oh my God.
And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. That's it. I want you to click that thumbs up button. I want you to subscribe. I want you to share. And I want you to join me on our Rumble channel. We've got a neat little thing going on our Locals and Rumble channel. We take tonight's broadcast and from the previous Santilli report. And Deb and I join everybody in the chat room to have a conversation with you, have direct access to us. So join us on our Rumble channel at The Pete Santilli Show. Bye, everybody. Flower Conservative right now.